1 year after the 9/11 attacks, the National Commission on Terrorist Attacks upon the United States, also known as the 9/11 Commission, was set up to prepare a complete account of the circumstances surrounding the attacks. But it seems that the Commission was not free to proceed with the investigation. The American Civil Liberites Union has recently released a letter signed on January 6, 2004 by senior Bush administration officials, namely former Attorney General John Ashcroft, Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld, and CIA Director George Tenet. The letter sternly warned the 9/11 Commission against probing too deeply into the incident on the grounds that it would endanger the security of American citizens.
The point is, when the U.S. government doesn't want someone to do something, they claim it's on national security grounds. But I wouldn't assume that it has anything to do with national security. I would assume, on the contrary, that it has a lot to do with procedures and illegalities, possibly, that were being committed already by the government at that point.
The Commission was also prevented from questioning the so-called detained terrorist suspects.
Maybe the issue was that some of these people had already been tortured. And, of course, if they had been tortured, even though the people that made up the 9/11 Commission were basically people who were going to do what the government wanted and say what the government wanted, torture might have been a line that some of these people would have been a bit nervous about.
In the end, the 9/11 Commission was forced to release its final report, with many areas of the investigation still left unexplored, like who would actually benefit from an invasion on U.S. soil.
The neoconservatives have made no secret that they wanted an incident of this type to happen. The real question is, to what extent were they involved, either in the exchange of information, enabling of funding, or whatever else. That's another issue that wasn't pursued.
You know, there are a lot of things to challenge in the 9/11 report, and another thing to challenge, obviously, was the role of Israel. The Israelis were very happy about it too, or at least some Israelis were. Bibi Netanyahu, who is currently Prime Minister, apparently was delighted, because this brought the United States in line completely with Israel in terms of Israel's terrorist policies.
Following the 9/11 attacks, the Bush administration invaded Afghanistan and Iraq under the pretext of crushing al-Qaeda and stopping Saddam Hussein from obtaining WMDs. 9 years on, many questions still remain unanswered about the 9/11 attacks, and it might take many more years to get to understand all that stood behind the attacks.